Tech investors, we're not surprised or we understand if you're still shuddering from the aftershocks of last quarter's disastrous ending to 2018. The NASDAQ, there it is on your screen, for the last 3 months of the year, lost 17% in the final quarter. That snaps a 6-year win streak. Flip it over to right now. Okay, we've got the NASDAQ higher by a few points here, and some of the tech stocks are looking pretty strong here. Facebook, Amazon, and Alphabet are all up. Apple, for the moment, down 0.5%. We've got Netflix down 0.5%. But let me focus on Facebook. CEO Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, his stock may be up about 3%, but he is suffering from a New Year's hangover. He posted an end-of-the-year Facebook message that's getting heaps of backlash after saying he is proud of the progress that Facebook has made. Zuckerberg stated that Facebook has, quote, fundamentally altered our DNA to focus more on preventing harm in all of our services, and we've systematically shifted a large portion of our company to work on preventing harm. But critics do not share the same sentiment, even calling, some of them at least, for his resignation. But I suppose you're not the head of a company if somebody isn't calling you to get out. But our next guests are locked and loaded with their biggest tech surprises and disappointment predictions for 2019, including Facebook. Mobile Nation senior editor Russell Hawley covers the technology industry extensively, along with Benchmark Investments managing partner Kevin Kelly. Great to see you both. Russell, to you first. You know, the last time you were on the show, you said that Facebook's privacy and fake news issue is a systemic problem, and Facebook's platform really has to be changed. Did his statement that the DNA has been altered mollify you, make you feel like, okay, he's on the right track?
No, not at all, because it's the same kind of statements that we've seen from Mark Zuckerberg and his other staff over the last year without any action plan behind it. We've heard a lot that there's steps being taken to fix this. We have no idea what those steps are, and I can't find a single person that's found results that signify that things are actually changing.
Do you like where the company stands, though, if an investor were looking at it saying, okay, this may calm people down and it may do better in 2019?
I mean, it's certainly possible that it may calm a few people down, but we've already seen the results from this have been overwhelmingly negative because this is a lot of the same information that we've heard from Mark Zuckerberg and from Sheryl Sandberg and from others just over the last year. There was a commercial airing on television earlier this year to apologize for some of the things that had happened, but there still hasn't really been an action plan or features or anything like that to give users more power over this kind of problem in the future.
Kevin, what does he need to do? Does he need to? I just came back from France, where they now have, all of Europe, really, the European Union has the general protections, the general data protections now that are really, really strong, and they give all the power to the user. And you have to give your explicit approval as to whether your data can be used for anything.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that what he should do is the question you asked, and he should go away. I mean, think about 2018. It was defined by their scandals, including hiring the definers and attacking George Soros, right? I mean, this is a company that went out and bought your banking data. They bought their data and your banking information, right? They came up with shadow accounts for people that weren't even users. This is a guy that wanted to come up with a third class of shares. So should he sell out all of his shares, he would still maintain control. What needs to be done is Mark Zuckerberg needs to be replaced in the leadership position, and that's what's going to fundamentally change their DNA, as he alluded to in his letter. But that's not going to happen, and now you're starting to see defections in leadership. You've seen Instagram's leadership go away. You've seen the WhatsApp people go away. This is a company in crisis, and nothing's been changed fundamentally.
All right. Okay. From Facebook to predictions, I want you to be Zoltar, like from that movie Big, where you make the predictions. Russell, first, give me your out-of-the-ballpark success prediction for 2019.
I think a big success prediction that a lot of people don't talk quite enough about is actually going to be Microsoft. We've seen them just grow tremendously, doing very kind of stick-to-their-basics things over the last couple of years, and I think that's going to continue. We're going to see the Surface brand of hardware devices continue to grow and be more popular, and I think we're also going to see an exciting thing from the HoloLens team later this year for augmented reality. I think it's going to be a really exciting year for that company.
I like that. I like that prediction. Kevin, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off what he just said, and the only way Microsoft can succeed is through the data centers and the build out of the wireless towers. So I think everybody needs to get access to that through the SRVR ETF, which is the data center infrastructure. Microsoft said they need 4,000 more data centers built by 2020 just to meet current cloud demand growth. And so it's a low vol tech way to play and get defensive.
Okay, you've got a surprise prediction here on Twilio and Pacer benchmark data infrastructure real estate.
Yeah, Twilio is the backbone communications on your mobile devices. So whenever you pull up an Uber and you call your Uber driver, it's Twilio software that's enabling that, including Airbnb. And now you're starting to see Nordstrom's enable it. So it is what PayPal was to Uber when there's payment processing. So it's the backbone of communication services.
So you're saying go for those two. Russell,
correct.
Give me your biggest disappointment that you expect in 2019.
Weirdly, I think one of the big disappointments of 2019 is going to end up being T-Mobile. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple months of T-Mobile, kind of hyping up a lot of its product, and its current audience is just very excited about T-Mobile's push into 5G networks and T-Mobile's push possibly into home networks. And there's just not a lot of evidence of infrastructure for either of those things currently in place. So I think when those announcements finally do happen in an attempt to compete with the other big networks, it's going to fall a little short and it's going to cause some problems.
Okay, I want to just quickly ask about Netflix, because there's been quite a bit of news with Netflix. And guys, all I hear is they're spending way too much money. They're throwing money at every possible shred of content that can get out there in Hollywood, which is nice for the writers. But who knows what happens with the investment community? Kevin.
Yeah, I think the biggest threat looming on Netflix is that Disney's going to come out with their over-the-top solution right now. And so we know Netflix is throwing money after every piece of content because they're going to lose Marvel. They're going to lose Disney. And we know that that was at least 25% of the content streamed on their platform. So they have a giant looming threat coming at them, and that's Bob Iger with Disney.
Ah, interesting. Russell, you.
Disney is going to be a big problem for Netflix moving forward, but Netflix has demonstrated an incredible ability to pull in sources that are just new and fresh and from other elements of pop culture. I really think that the idea of throwing money at this problem is actually the only way to stave off the inevitable rush of people leaving Netflix for Disney.
Yeah, well, there's even a Saturday Night Live segment now about people pitching, and they get 2 words into the pitch for an executive at Netflix, and the executive says, "I'll buy it." I mean,
that's right. It's interesting when there's a headline about something Netflix won't take. That ends up being a big deal.
Yeah.
Like that's how funny that is now.
Hey,
God bless the crown.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly. Oh, I'll give them that. Fabulous too. Okay, great to see you guys. Thank you so very much.